Black
That
Monday,
shit crazy.
black coaches, and black people getting fired. Jerod Mayo, Antonio Pierce, they fired after their first full seasons. Raheem, supposedly on the hot seat, I don't think he should be, but the fact that we still got Raheem, D'Amico Ryans, Todd Bowles, Mike Tomlin, that's great. But I feel like we should have more. Is it cool that they firing black coaches with just 1 year? What are your thoughts on that?
Can I say what
Yeah,
I
man.
really
This
feel?
is hey, the Shadow League locker room, man. We're a little bit unfiltered here.
Well, I tell you what, boy. As soon as I saw they fired those two guys, I was like, "Fuck the Patriots, fuck the Raiders." That was
Yeah,
my honest thought, because I felt like it was a token
it
black
was,
hire in the
dude.
first place. Yeah, I mean, it was like the fact that they hired Antonio Pierce in Vegas. I was like, boy, the world is really
I
starting to
felt so
change.
good. It's like a
And then the way
rainbows and
they,
everything. I feel like
yeah,
sun's shining. They got my man because
and Mayo
as
too.
interim coach, he was that
Yep,
dude. The coach, I mean, the team rallied around him. The players really felt with him. I was like,
100%.
yo, they're gonna give him a chance. They better give him a chance. Don't make him interim coach and then like go find somebody else. He's right there. They gave him a shot. I said, this is what you're supposed to do. I said, let him really have a chance to make this work. 1 year gone.
Yeah, the only thing I can appreciate about the Falcons hiring Raheem, me and Raheem go way back. My first 2 years with the Jets, I was with
Okay,
Raheem,
okay.
and then when I went to Tampa, I was with Raheem in Tampa too. So we go way back from 2000. But when they hired Raheem, I was super happy that they did that, and I was even more happy when they brought in the two quarterbacks, the Kirk Cousins and then the
Yeah.
Penix kid. Because they never hired black quarterbacks, and I mean
It
black
was the
coaches, and
first
give them a real
time,
quarterback.
Wilcox, ever to have a
Right.
black head coach, a black GM, and a black starting quarterback. I didn't know it was the first time ever in the history of Everdom. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, that's some great history to make.
Yeah. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. That's
But do you think
100%
Gerard
real. The
Mayo
Ravens.
and
The
Antonio
Ravens.
Pierce were those firings justified? Because they had terrible seasons, but it's their
No,
fault.
no, they wasn't justified at all. It's not. How is it going to be your fault when you taking on somebody else's team? You didn't even get a chance to build your team yet. Dog, give me 2-3 years to build a team. Like, why would you fire me after the first year? To me, it has to be some conduct detrimental to the team
Yeah.
type shit. And if it's not that type of stuff, bro, like, I have no idea why these two black men are at home. And I just it makes no sense. Even if you hold the coaches on the same standard as the
Yeah.
players, like, what did they really do wrong? Honestly, did they say something wrong in the media? Did they sleep with the head coaches? I mean, with the owner's daughter or something? Like what really happened? Both of these are former players that poured
Yeah.
out their heart, blood, and soul for these programs. And I played against both of those guys. So to
Yeah.
see them both get a chance to be a head coach, it really made me feel warm on the inside. And the fact that Dion is like the head coach at Colorado right now, a former teammate of mine, I think he's a huge part of this shakeup all
Oh yeah.
around the world, right? Because they never wanted us to do what
Never.
Dion is doing right now. Dion skipped all the steps they be trying to force us to take to try to get where we really should be. You can't go play this game for 30 years of your life and not know football. And then they every time you come and try to coach, they try to belittle you and bring you all the way down to some
Yes.
intern shit instead of putting you in a spot where you could really be beneficial to the program and to these players. And the one thing that's
Yeah.
always overlooked, is being able to relate to your team and being able to relate to your players. And that's what happens when you bring in guys like Mayo, guys like Pierce. So they can relate to everything these players are going to. And they keep hiring these guys, these white guys that ain't never played the game. They
Oh.
quirky, they
Oh.
jerky, they kind of smart as
Yo.
hell. And they keep hiring those guys, but they really can't relate
Yo,
to the
Wilcox, the
players.
carousel kills me. It's a coaching carousel
It
and it's a
is.
backup quarterback carousel to where you can be mediocre as hell and still get a chance to be head coach or quarterback as long as as you feel.
Yeah.
I talked about this before with my boy Brian Finneran, who's Caucasian, and he agrees with me. He's like, owners want to see somebody that they can relate to. And because most owners are white, they're
Right.
not black, they're going to relate to a head coach. They're going to relate to a head quarterback that looks like them. Because for the longest time, they thought black people were too dumb to play quarterback. And there's a great series that Michael Vick did
They
where,
they
where
never
they talked
they,
about
they
it.
never thought that. That was
That,
their
that was an
excuse.
excuse.
They never thought
Well,
that shit. They was afraid that we was going to take money out of their pocket.
that too.
That's
But
all. What's happening right now is what they was afraid
yeah,
of. Go
because
ahead,
you're
Ovie.
absolutely right. But now it's almost like All right, we gotta get one of those, just like with Jackie Robinson. We gotta get one of them boys because when you see the ability to have dual threat, the ability to pass and run, and we can think at a high level like, oh crap, floodgates are open. I want to get me a black quarterback. I want to get me
Yeah.
a Jaden Daniels. I want to get me a Michael Penix. And the same thing in the coaching ring is starting to happen, but it's still we haven't broken through that glass ceiling yet. I thought with Antonio Pierce and Jerod,
Yeah.
I believe last year was probably one of the highest years of getting black coaches hired. But
Right.
I was hopeful, and now after seeing this, man, it's a little bit frustrating.
It is frustrating. I deal with the same thing in Baltimore. Like we hired Zach Orr as a D coordinator this year, and we absolutely stunk it up the first half of the season and on defense. And I had this conversation with Corey Ivy,
Yeah,
a former
yeah,
teammate of mine from Tampa and Baltimore, and I was telling CI, I was like, bro, like dog, you can CI don't care. He don't give two shits about nobody.
yeah.
He
He
gonna
is.
say
Yes, he
exactly what's on
is.
his mind,
Him and
no
him and all
filter,
his
no
teeth. Yeah, he
nothing.
gonna say it.
And he was like, he sucks. He need to get out of there. He sucks. And I was like, bro, like give him time, bro. Like give him time to breathe. Like first of all, he's one of
Yeah,
us. When somebody's one of us, we got to figure out a way to have some chill and some. We can't join the army of
you
everybody
got
else
enough haters
hating
already.
us. Yeah, we got enough hate. And I tell my son that all the time. Like, son, stop being down on yourself. You got enough people in this world gonna be down on you. You need to be the person building you up and thinking that you're better than
Yeah,
what you are. Stop selling yourself short. So when I see us beating up on us, it frustrates me. It's hard. Dion first year in
ooh,
Colorado, they
yep,
stunk it up. They won 4 more games than they did the year before because they were
yep,
0-12. When they ended up being 4 and whatever, 4-8 or
yeah.
something like
Started
that.
fast too.
Only went, started fast and then ended up losing all those games back to back. And everybody was like, Dion can't do it. Then this year he come back and almost go to the damn national title. It's crazy. Almost entered the
Yes,
playoffs. So it's like, what are you gonna say? You like give these guys time to make the changes necessary to make the team theirs. On every single team, these coaches get an opportunity to make their team theirs. I remember being in Baltimore. I remember being in Tampa. I remember being in New York. These coaches got 3-4 years to try to make a team fully theirs where everybody 100% buys in, and now they can go run the table on people and try to score some real points and win some real championships and titles. But if you just give a guy 1 year with a bunch of players he didn't recruit, with a bunch of players that really don't respect him as the
yeah,
head guy, and he still got to deal with disgruntled guys that like the old head coach and don't really like his new ways, it's hard for anybody to
yeah,
maneuver through that. Like, I don't think it's fair to fire a coach after 1 year, especially a
yeah,
black coach. Don't do this shit just to make people think you're a cool franchise and
yeah.
you down. That
I
sucks. That's what it
I agree,
feels like.
man.